Our standing barbell shoulder press is a great strength move for working on primarily the front head of the shoulder, a little bit of that lateral head. We're also working our core for this exercise as well. We're going to be demonstrating it on a barbell. However, you're welcome to use dumbbells at home for this move as well if you do not have access to a barbell. If you're using a barbell, you can either set that barbell up on the floor here, or if you have a rack at your gym or at home, you can set those J hooks to about chest height. You can rack the bar up on there, load the weights on up, and then you'll just simply take the bar off of those racks, go into your shoulder presses, and then set it back down. However, I'll be showing it from the floor for those of you that do not have access to a rack with J hooks at home. We're going to stand up nice and close to that bar with feet about hip distance apart. We're going to grab that bar kind of at a just relaxed distance. So if you're just standing here, arms hanging at your sides, that is the distance that we're going to be when we grab the bar, distance between those hands. So we're going to come on down. We're going to grab that bar. We're then going to stand on up. We're going to bring that bar on up to the chest. And then we're going to wrap those elbows right underneath of that bar. So you can notice how my forearms are kind of straight up and down here. I'm going to squeeze my core as I press that weight on up. As I do, my head is going to come through the arms to where I'm directly in line with the rest of my body. And then I'm going to control it back down. My head's going to kind of come back to make room for that bar coming down. Again, squeeze the core, press up, head comes through, control it back down, head comes back out of the way. When you're done, either set it back onto that rack in front of you or lower it back down to the floor. Couple key things to remember here. Number one, biggest mistake I see made when doing shoulder presses with a bar is not getting your head through on the bar. You'll notice I talked about pressing and then getting the head through so that that bar is in line with the rest of the torso. We want to make sure that we are doing this movement. If we were using dumbbells, we wouldn't have to worry about that head being in the way, so those dumbbells are already in line with the torso. However, since we have to clear the head here, as we press up, we're going to push that head on forward so that we're in proper alignment for that press. A lot of times I'll see people when they do barbell presses here, they'll just kind of lean back with the torso and just kind of press out in front of them. What that's doing is that's more going to be working the upper chest and just primarily the front of the shoulders. We won't be transferring as much of that movement onto the front head of the shoulders and the lateral head, and we're not focusing on keeping proper spinal alignment throughout this exercise. So really make sure as you press up, you're pushing your head through so that you're creating a nice straight line at the top. Another key thing to remember here, we're going to be squeezing that core as we press so that we keep that torso aligned. We are not leaning back, arching that back. If you find yourself arching that back, you have too much weight on there. Your abs are giving out. So make sure you squeeze those abs as you press up so you're not leaning back and arching. Last thing to remember, since this is a shoulder press, it is not a push press. We're not using our legs for this exercise. Those legs are staying stationary. We're pressing with those shoulders, controlling it back on up. We are not kind of using those legs to help generate momentum. If you find yourself doing that, again, you have too much weight on the bar, your shoulders don't have the strength to get it up, so it's trying to recruit those leg muscles. So slow it down, start off light, focus on proper technique, then start building your weight on up from there as your shoulders start to get stronger.